Well, good afternoon. I'm here at camp. We've already started putting up some of the batten, board and batten. I'll show you what we've got done so far, and I'll show you how we're doing the hard end. We kind of did the easy end so we get a feel for how to do it. Now we're going to start on the hard end here, so hang with me here and continue to watch. This is what's going to need board and batten. See, that side's not too bad. I think I can get most of that side. Here's the side. It's on a hill. It's pretty high. I know I'm going to need some ladder jacks for that. Certainly will make it a lot easier.
As human beings, we all have faults, and one of my faults is knowing when or being brave enough to ask for help. That is one area where I'm really lacking. And thankfully, my brother-in-law offered to help, and he has the tools and the knowledge to help me get it done.
You see, this side here is going to be a little more difficult. It's going to take two separate layers, probably with a trim piece down the middle there. So we're going to get started. We're using 8-inch boards that I cut here on site. You see, we got some ladder jacks up there, and I have lots of help from my carpenter brother-in-law, Tim, and you'll get a chance to see him up there working. I'm doing some of the cutting. He's doing the hard cutting. I'm doing the easy straight cutting. But we're going to start here on this end over here and work our way that way. I've seen some videos, they start in the middle. We're not really worried about it. It's gonna be what we get. We're not worried about having each end perfectly even.
Now, my last couple videos, you've seen me cut down a couple trees that I needed for the board and batten, and I had to cut them down here relatively quickly because I knew my brother-in-law was coming up to help me, and I certainly wanted to have enough materials to kind of take advantage of his help. We went up to the corner of the eaves and measured that. That came out to about 107.5 inches, and that gives us about an inch and a half below the actual wood into the cement block, so that it goes down far enough and the water will drain off. And we'll start at the corner, work our way over. We're going to have to do the bottom layer first before we actually do the top layer. Now, the very first corner piece there, we measured 107.5 to the bottom of the angle, and then Tim figured out the angle, and this is where having help is really good. I'm not that great on the angle cuts. I'm kind of a square end carpenter, and I can figure out the angles, but I can make it fit. But there's a difference between making it fit well and just making it fit. So he makes things fit well. Now it's my turn just to cut them at 107.5. We did draw a chalk line on the basement wall underneath, and that's how high we went. That it was either a chalk line below or above. I held it to the chalk line. He would just nail it in. We're using 2.5-inch nails to mount the boards. Now, the first cut on the window here was relatively simple. It was kind of a straight cut, so you throw a 1-inch board up there, mark it, and then you have the measurements from the bottom, and it was relatively straightforward. Now, the slowest part of the whole project seems to be me on my cutting. I could have made our job easier by pre-squaring the ends up. I didn't do that, so that takes an extra cut. If I would have done that before my help got here, it would have went a lot quicker, because these, when you mill them, they're just not square on the ends. So I had to square every piece up before I cut it. It cost us a lot of time. And I have to be honest, I did mess up a couple cuts sometimes. There's a couple times I was an inch short, so we had to use the pieces elsewhere. Now for trim, we're just using 4-inch boards, so nothing fancy, just a 4-inch board around the window itself, and we'll caulk it and seal everything. Now this end of the addition is 20 feet wide. And if you look at our ladder and ladder jacks, we did not have enough ladders, nor ladder jacks, nor the telescoping plank to go the whole length of it, so we had to split it in two sections. Now that the lower part is done, we're going to go ahead and, well, Tim is going to go ahead and move his ladder jacks up and move the ladders up as far as he can so he can get up to the peak. While we're on this side, we'll go ahead and cut the angles all the way up there as far as we can. Now, Tim has already set me up the angle. I've got a pattern down here to make the angle, and then he'll just yell down the measurements, and we'll work together and keep on going up to the peak. Now, Tim would call down the measurements. He would measure from the high side, which would be the low side of my piece, and then I just match up the angle to it and cut it out. So it worked out fairly well. Once again, the whole slow part is me actually doing the cutting. It doesn't take long to put it up there, but by the time I cut it and haul it up there, it does take a little bit of time, and that's where we lost some time. Here Tim is cutting the peak, and sometimes it's best if I just stand out of the way and let him do his thing. Make sure you watch till the end so you can see how Tim cut the other peak on the other side. There's 3 different angles up there, and he did it all in one shot.
All right, third time's a charm, Tim.
Now this window and the next window are the 2 windows that kind of gave me some trouble cutting. I don't know whether my 8 inches was a little bit off. I know when you mill, you know, it's hard to stay perfect when it's a manual mill and you're doing a cranking and everything else. You could be just a little bit off, and if you're not using the same board on these windows, it could create some issues. So I don't know. My advice to you would be to, when you cut below the window, use the same board to cut above the window. That way you know they'll both be exactly the same size when you get to the end, because I don't know what happened, but I'm suspecting maybe there was a little size variation between the 2 boards that I cut. I used different boards. I was trying to make the most out of my lumber that I left over. I didn't want to waste any lumber, and that might have caused me a problem here and there. So once again, if you're cutting complete like I did right below the window and above the window on the peak, I would use the same board for above and below and try and make sure you keep the gaps the same, so your end cuts are a little bit, or so your cuts alongside the window where you have to indent the window a little bit are a little bit easier to manage. And also suggest checking your work with a level once in a while.
Well, good morning. Getting ready to start a new day and going to start on the board and batten. As I left you yesterday, that side there is all done, and we're still working on this side. We're just getting ready to start here. Those top windows, I have my wife going out and buying me some silicone sealant today here real quick, so that when we up there with the scaffolding, we can seal them up.
Now the trim piece between the 2 different layers or 2 different floors is going to be a 1x6. This piece needs to be installed so we can start with the battens on that side and continue up, so we can go over and relocate the scaffolding. Once the 6-inch trim board up, it's just a leveling, and then we go ahead and start putting up some trim around the upper window. Tim seals it, and then we start with the actually bantams on what we can. Just cutting and installing now. Now, while installing the boards, it's always a good idea to try to put the smile inside, facing the actual building, to try to prevent the cupping of the board. If you put the smile out, sometimes that's the way that a board will want to cup on you. On these longer bottom pieces of batten, I would cut them, take them over, and then just line up the middle. So Tim could put them in place at the top, and then he'd nail them. After we were finished with the batten up high, that's when we moved the scaffold down. Now the battens are 1x2s, and that's really where I made a miscalculation. I didn't have enough battens cut. So there was a time frame, you don't see it here, I had to break, go back up to the sawmill. I had some extra 2x, I'd cut them down. I had some of the 1x8s that weren't in the best of shape. I cut them down into 1x2s also, and that gave me enough batten. I was especially concerned about the long pieces, and that's really where I was short on the 10-foot 1x2s. Now, as we finish this end, please make sure to continue to watch because we're going to be doing the peak on the other end of this where the angles are kind of hard to cut. There's 3 different angles to cut, and Tim will show us how he did it. Another window, another couple cuts to make it fit. Well, once again, something is a little off here. So just to make sure we're straight, we're going to throw a level on it again.
Well, here I am again, another day. We kind of got rained out yesterday afternoon. We have another spot on the roof. Now the roof, Tim is cutting the angles down here, so when you move it up there, or you just put some on. I'll show you the layout he has so far.
Now Tim measured his 3 angles, made sure he had a pattern on all of them, and then he just laid the boards out as he would. Right there is the angle that goes up to the other peak, and an angle on the bottom and a different angle at the top. All these had to be in the right sequence. Now I am quite sure by Tim actually cutting them down here himself, it saved a lot of time from him trying to explain the measurements and which angle was where as he yelled them down to us. So he's going to cut them. Now it took him a while. It took him about somewhere between an hour and a half to actually lay it all out. Now he laid the complete thing out, and not just the boards but also the batten. So we carried everything up, and we was able to put it all on in one shot. I made quite a few trips up and down. I only carry 2 to 3 boards at a time. I only showed you a couple, but it gave me a little bit of a workout. We'll show you some before and after pictures here when we're finished. We're getting close to being done here. I try to be as helpful as I can. Sometimes, yeah, I feel like I'm in the way, but I try to hand them to him in order so he can just nail them up. Just throw them up there and nail them. We actually did the entire side once we got the pieces up there and got started. It was all finished in about 25 to 26 minutes. Now my boards were 8-inch. My wife wanted a same size the whole way through. Now I choose 8-inch. A lot of people on YouTube use 10-inch. I know it probably goes quicker, but I was always afraid of the cupping, so 6-inch is just too small. Doesn't look quite right. I kind of like the look of 8-inch, so tell me what you think when we're done here. And here are some before and after pics. Here's the before and after picture of the end. The end itself used 60 different 8-inch boards.
Now, in order to figure out how many boards I would use on one section like this, I would take the amount of feet it was. This particular building is 16 by 20. The ends are 20 feet wide. I'd take the 20 feet, I'd multiply it by 12, would give me how many inches. Then I would divide that total by 8, and that would give me how many boards I needed. Plus, the one thing I didn't figure out so well was the amount, the boards, and also the batten. I didn't have enough of that. Another issue of concern that I had issues with was the trim, not the trim, but the trimming of the actual boards around the window. I don't know whether it was a slightly different width on the ones above it and versus the ones below it. So my recommendation would be to always use the same board on when you do the below ones and you do the upper ones. If you do those ones and you do those ones, make sure they're the same board. That way you know they'll be the same width, and you won't have the issue that I had when you had the problems with the trim. This board lining up right here with these edges, it was a little bit off-centered. We had to put the level on it to make sure we were still straight before we continued on. So that's something else to be aware of. It was a minor issue. We got around it, but it's something that could save you time. Another time-saving issue is when you're mailing your own boards and you have somebody coming out to help you, try to square one end off before they get here. That would have saved us tremendous time. If you figure that each cut I made almost was 2 cuts, so that's almost double the amount of time it took for a cut. So do that. That's another item that could save you lots of time. Now, this particular job would have been almost impossible to do without the ladder jacks that my brother-in-law supplied. So thank you for supplying them, and thank you for your help. I appreciate it. So 3 sides of this new addition is done. I only have 1 more side left to do. That side is something I can do myself. It's not very high, so I am going to go ahead and do that myself as I get time. I'm going to put a porch on there, so I got to put some stringers and stuff up first. So that is another time when I run out of some things to do, which I probably never will. But I want to thank you for viewing and thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. So keep on viewing and sharing and subscribing and liking and commenting. All those things help this channel grow. And as an old man, I do appreciate it. So thanks again. And once again, this is the old man with the plan, and I'll see you later.